Hey everyone, hope you're well. Now, I'm just going to spew out some thoughts and random nonsense on where I seem to stand as a guitar player these days and see if it might make some sense. As some of you may know, back in the day, those days being the 80s, I was pretty much nothing but a metal shredder style of guitar player. It's pretty much all I knew and or cared about as far as guitar went. Then, in my late 20s, I gave up the guitar completely and barely touched one for about 25 years. Upon reigniting my passion for the guitar at age 53, and after a couple of months getting myself back up to speed, I discovered that I was burdened with a style of play that was pretty much long out of fashion, namely 80s shred. No mind, I had no intentions of joining a band at 53 or lofty dreams about making it to the big show as I had when I was much younger. I'll just play for my own enjoyment. But you know what? While I enjoyed playing the guitar again, I no longer enjoyed so much the style of play that was so ingrained in my brain and in my fingers. I must do something about that, I thought. I need to learn new things. What are the kids doing these days? So I decided to check out what the kids are doing these days. And yeah, not for me. Tricks, lots and lots of tricks. It was all flash and tricks. Now, to be diplomatic, I suppose one could call some of them new techniques. Hell, Jimi Hendrix did tricks back in the late 60s. Eddie Van Halen did tricks and invented new techniques in the 70s, all in the name of wringing new sounds out of this instrument. Nothing wrong with that, just not where I wanted to go with my own playing, I thought. And frankly, there's also far too much two-handed tapping going on these days. A technique that I've never really enjoyed doing or listening to for that matter, despite Eddie Van Halen being a massive influence on my playing when I was much younger. So I decided that that's not where I wanted to go with my playing. And frankly, not because I felt that I couldn't actually do it. Now, I'm not boasting here. It's just that I'm one seriously determined when it comes to what I want to achieve on the guitar. I personally believe that I can do anything on this bloody thing with enough time and with enough practice. But regardless, trick playing was out for me. I'll leave that to the kids. I needed something else. That's when I stumbled upon the idea to try and play my way through the top 100 greatest guitar solos of all time. I thought that'll be a good challenge and a good way to learn lots of new things and become a more well rounded, versatile guitar player. Now, I mean here new things to me, like blues and jazz and classic blues based rock guitar. Plus, I'm not just going to learn them, I thought. I'm going to study them, try and take my knowledge of the guitar fretboard and music theory to a higher level than it was. So I did it, and it took over 2 years, but goddamn if it didn't work. I became a much better and well rounded and versatile guitar player. Now, of course, within that list, there was plenty of hard rock and metal shredding to be found, which felt right at home to me. But it was the Clapton and the Stevie Ray Vaughan and the Hendrix and Duane Allman, Jimmy Page, Larry Carlton, Elliot Randall, Dickie Betts, Terry Kath, Martin Barr, Mark Knopfler, Steve Hunter, Mick Ronson, Dick Wagner that really got my engine fired when I played them. Despite a few jazzier players in the aforementioned list of players that I just mentioned, for the most part, these players are and were classic blues based rock guitar players, mostly from the late 60s and 70s. Now, I personally believe, and I'm not saying this because I'm old and because this is the music that I grew up on, because really I didn't. My formidable guitar playing years were the early 80s and the whole 80s shred boom. But I firmly believe that the 70s were truly the golden age of rock guitar. Yeah, the 60s were okay, but nobody was really doing anything exciting until Clapton, Hendrix, Page, and Jeff Beck came along during the latter years of that decade. It's the 70s that really and truly shine, in my opinion. That era will live forever in guitar circles. It's a style of play that is timeless, at least in rock guitar history. Though rock and hard rock have been pretty much out of the mainstream for the past 25 to 30 years, there have been numerous 70s style rock revivals that have reared their head during that period with modest success. Now, I personally think that if any form of rock music is going to come back in a big way and break back into the mainstream again, it's going to be 70s style rock and hard rock. There's never really been much of a 60s kind of psychedelia revival worth mentioning over the years. Oasis, maybe. I honestly believe that 80 Shred will never come back either in guitar fashion. I think it's had its day, bled it dry, never to be seen again. But the 70s, that's where it's at for me. That's where I found a guitar home. And it's where I want to stay. Blues based rock and hard rock playing. That's my focus these days. That's the music that speaks to me. Nowadays, when I'm on the sofa watching a movie with my guitar in hand, always, I'm no longer shredding arpeggios and lightning fast scales up and down the neck, so on and so forth. I'm bending notes and I'm finding ear pleasing phrases and melodies, practicing classic licks, playing blues and blues rock, doing my best to emulate the 70s greats. Because that's what now pleases my ear as a guitar player. And that's pretty much become the focus of my channel as of late, as you may have noticed. Lots and lots of 70s classic rock guitar. It's where I get the most pleasure as a player. It's where I seem to have settled in as a guitar player, and there could be worse places. I'm seriously considering making the 70s and rock guitar of the 70s the sole focus of my channel going forward, but we'll see. Let me know what you think about that. Well, that's it for now. Thank you for watching. Drop me a subscribe if you haven't done that already. I hope you're well in your little guitar corner of the world, and we will see you next time. Cheers.